Showtime, yeah.
Showtime. Showtime.
Showtime, yeah.
Showtime.
Welcome to the Maine J Show. It's your boy Maine J, and this is another episode of Maine-Chat. And today I have a very special guest. He is a author, psalmist, singer, now CEO, record label president, producer, all that good stuff. So welcome to the show, Minister-elect Darius Douglas. Thank you, sir, for coming on the show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So what's been going on with you? How are you doing these last couple of days with the election and everything going on?
I'm just, chilling out, just trying to, wait and see what the end results are like everybody else. I'm not, really trying to stress out about it or let it consume me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Um, I'm just did my civic duty. I went out and voted, did what I was supposed to do, and I just gotta wait, see what happens. Whatever the Lord has in store for us is whatever the Lord has in store for us.
Okay. So just a few questions for those who may not know you. Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Florida, but right now I reside in Bridgewater, Mass. Been here for about 5, 6 years now, and been an interesting transition.
Okay. And what is one fact about you that people may not know?
One fact about me that people may not know, that I actually have a heart of gold. People think that I can come across with a hard exterior. I can come across as sometimes cold-hearted, but I have a heart of gold. I love people. I love doing for people. I love to see people smile. So I would say that a lot of people don't know that I have a heart of gold.
All right. So let's dig on in. So you have a book that is getting ready to come out. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes,
And
that's
what
correct.
is the name of the book?
The name of the book is Christian Talks: 10 Steps to a Better You. And the purpose for the book was to let everybody know that this journey isn't easy. And there are some steps that you're gonna have to take to become a better you, and it may not be, an easy process, but here are some things that you can use as a tool to help you become better. And it just was also written while I was going through one of my most difficult mental health episodes.
Okay.
And so and it was a lot of the things that I was learning in therapy and the things that I was learning. And so I wanted to share some of my knowledge or what I've learned along the way, um, to help other people.
Oh, that's really good. I'm like that you're talking about mental health, and I'm like how you're talking about like steps that you've taken. You know, you're in the church, I'm in the church. I have a few years over you, but I'm grateful that now the church is being more open about talking about mental health. They're being more open about talking about therapy and all these different things. And it's more than just you just got a spirit it or it's just this, it's just that. I'm loving the fact that like my generation and younger is now saying, no, this is not a demon. This doesn't need to be rebuked and all this other stuff. This is mental illness is real. Okay.
Yes.
And it needs to be addressed, and it's more than just laying hands, and it's more than just oil. You have to get to the root of things. So I'm grateful that you actually that more people are opening up about it and talking about therapy. It's okay to go to therapy, people. It's okay. Yes, talk to the Lord, but it's okay to talk to therapists, whether it's go to therapy, your pastor, your parents, whoever. There's more than one way to address things. It's
Hmm.
sometimes it's just about getting a different viewpoint and just getting deep down to the root of it. One thing I learned
Absolutely.
that you can't pray at it. You can't just, like I said, throw oil at it. Um, Things that I was taught, you can't just dance on it or dance around it, or dance over it. The only way how you can dance over it is when you're actually over it. The only way how you can dance about it is when you actually dealt with this stuff. And I realized that I'm grateful once again that you're writing this book and you're actually talking about mental health, because it really does need to be discussed. It really does need to be a focal point in the church. People have dealt with some traumatic things in their lives, and they need and I believe that, because I can speak for my generation, and I know if you want to elaborate more on your book and your experience, what I realized is the reason why some people are probably really dealing with mental health as a stronghold, if you will, or just on a high or bigger levels, because we weren't allowed to talk about things. It's just, well, oh, for example, he's an elder, or he's the pastor, or she's this, or I'm your mother, and that's that, and you're not going to say nothing else about it. And it's just like, well, I'm hurting, and if I don't get this out, I'm going to act out, or I'm going to flip, or I'm going to be depressed, or I'm going to be angry, I'm going to be bitter. And one thing that my late bishop used to say before he passed is, unresolved issues have babies. You get what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
if you're not able to deal with these things head on when it happens, of course, sometimes you can't deal with things right away. But when if you don't deal with things, they grow and they become big, and then it becomes, you get quote unquote crazy. You flip out. You have a manic episode, or a crazy episode, whatever the psychological terms are, and it's just, oh, that's just a demon. It's not a demon. I have some unresolved issues that I wasn't able to talk about. I wasn't able to deal with. The only thing you told me to do was run around the church 7 times. Okay? And it'll be over. And truth be told, it don't be over. You still got to go home and deal with the stuff.
Absolutely.
So I'm grateful that you're bringing a light on that. So what is one situation, if you can give us a teaser, that really inspired you to write the book?
Recently, I'm very open and transparent about it, so I don't mind sharing. But recently, I was hospitalized. It was a very bad, very bad, very bad episode, which at that particular time was causing me to have memory loss and
Jeez.
forget things, and doing things that I had no recollection of, and just the emotions that I had were heightened more before.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they had to, of course, they had to hospitalize me for 2 weeks, and I was diagnosed with PTSD. And so, while during that entire experience, I was like, after I came out of it, I was like, I feel like I need to share some knowledge. I feel like I need to share with other people, because this subject, which is so taboo when it shouldn't be,
Right.
needs to be addressed head on, because there's so many people in the body of Christ who suffer from mental illness. There's so many pastors, so many deacons, so many praise and worship leaders. Like, these are people who constantly have the spotlight on them. These are people who are responsible for other people's souls. These are people who have to, of course, deal with the enemy 10 times more than a normal person would have to. And I felt like I needed to address those people and just let them know that they weren't alone, if that makes sense. And so, but not only just to help the church world, but also to help the outside world as well, because it also happens in the outside world where a lot of people don't talk about it, especially in Black families, families of color. It's not something that we talk about. It's not something that we want to address. It's always pray it away. Like you said, it's always shout it away. It's always dance it away. It's always, we don't talk about that, or I'm not talking about that with you, or you can need to deal with that on your own, or it's either he or she is crazy. And I just want to, with this book, I'm hoping to normalize mental health,
Right.
normalize the conversation, normalize the fact that you're not wrong, or you're not, what's the word? You're not a burden because you have mental health. You're not a problem because you have mental health. This is something that you have, and it's okay. And you need help, and that's okay if you need help. It's okay if you need medication. It's okay if you need to have coping skills. So I want to just normalize the conversation about mental health, and so that people will be more comfortable with talking about it. And in this book, I go from so many different topics, to self-love, to anger, to joy, to the different stages of love, the different stages of anger, self-image, low self-esteem. These are all things that are a contributing factor to mental health. And so I wanted to again, write this book to encourage people.
Right. And like I said, once again, I'm like, I like how you talk about the mental health aspect. And I realized even in my life, I dealt with mental health as well. And I realized that a lot of things that I dealt with as a child, like I said, because I didn't have the right avenues to talk about certain things, really impacted like my adulthood up until about 5 or 6 years ago. And once again, because you're not able to really talk about things, or address things, or like we're men, so certain things, man, you're supposed to just handle it, and you're supposed to just be tough
Right.
and do all these different things, and
Which
it's
I
like,
can't stand.
right, but it's okay to talk, it's okay to vent, it's okay to show emotion. And I realized that especially a lot of men, since we're men on the show and men of color, I realized that there's a lot of men that are really how I was taught, you're a child of God, so you have to look this way. You have to be this way. You have to show this side. And it's like I dealt with I like to be honest too, I dealt with not identity confusion and identity crisis, because once again in the church, be this way, fake it till you make it, act like it's all right, praise him in advance, and all those things are well. I'm grateful that I got that teaching. But at the same time, it's okay to say I am angry. It is okay to say that I'm hurting. It is okay. How you doing? Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. I may be blessed and highly favored, but I'm depressed. I may be
Right.
blessed and highly favored, but I'm bitter right now. I may be blessed and highly favored, but there's still some unforgiveness in my heart. Blessed and highly favored is not a feeling. And I realize, like you said, we need to normalize honesty. We need to normalize transparency. If something's not all right, you don't have to say, oh, everything's great and the Lord is good. The Lord is good, but everything is not great right now.
Right.
The
Absolutely.
Lord, like, it's okay to say, I'm not good right. You know what? I understand that we're Christians and the world is looking at us, but the world can look at us and see that, wow, he's depressed or he deals with depression. It's okay. It's okay to show all that God is not less of a God because you deal with depression. God is not less of a God because you deal with mental illness. So I'm really grateful that you're touching on this. Is the book available for pre-sale?
Yes, it is. You can pre-order it. It's on my Facebook page. If you go down my timeline, it's on there. I've been advertising it. It's $19.99.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's on pre-sale right now. I'm just, again, trusting and hoping, that people really want to be a part of it. I am planning. Oh, excuse my background. I'm outside. I couldn't be inside because there was something going on inside, so I had to step out. So excuse my background.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am getting ready soon to do something on Facebook Live where I'm going to do a reading, where I'm going to do some excerpts from the book, and if people have questions, like a Q&A and a reading or something like that. And I know that the book release is January 12th.
Okay, that's
so
yeah, January 12th, 2021. All right. Now, speaking of mental health, okay, what have you been doing to stay sane during the quarantine? With everything, churches, open, closed, gyms closed, open, like what have you been doing to stay sane?
Well, I really wasn't, you really don't see me out like that.
Right.
I'm not really one for the whole like big crowd and thing like that. So me being inside was okay with me. I was fine with that. I was content. And I just, but even in the midst of being inside the house, seeing all the stuff that was in the media, seeing all the stuff on social media, those things did have to play some part. But I wrote, you know what I'm saying? I listened to a lot of music. I prayed, I meditated. And I just tried to surround myself with good people as much as I possibly can. And if, you weren't good for me, you had to be cut loose. And that's another thing that happened during the quarantine for me and during this pandemic, is that my relationships were, of course, tested. And, I had to reevaluate a lot of relationships with people and really figure out who was for me and who wasn't. And, when you're locked up in a close space, or when have time to yourself, you have time to sit and think. more than you normally would, because when the thing was,
Right.
when it wasn't going on, you were moving around so much, but now you're sitting in your thoughts and you're sitting in your emotions and your feelings, and so
Right.
now you have more time to assess and really evaluate things. So that for me was more so of like an evaluation period for me, and it also was like a self-reflection, really looking at myself and seeing what things I needed to work on. But I just, again, I prayed, I meditated, I listened to music, I painted, I draw, I did all kinds of things that would keep me calm and sane as much as possible. Yeah.
And what is well, I know you talk about cutting things off, but have you learned anything about yourselves during this quiet time? Has there any?
Yeah, I learned a lot about myself. I just learned that I learned that I just need to do more for myself, because before the pandemic, I was so busy running around. I'm gonna be transparent, taking care of the church, taking care of the pastor, taking care of everybody else, doing for other people, making sure other people making sure other people was happy, and I was neglecting my own personal endeavors, like my music and the things that I wanted to do. And so I just learned through this pandemic and quarantine time, I need to do more for myself and not so much worry about other people as much.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with
excuse
that.
me. Okay, I'm I'm in the middle of an interview.
I told him that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I've learned a few things about myself too. Like you said, it's funny how like this year has really like slowed down a lot of things. So you're right. It's like, wow, I really haven't focused on a lot of things, like you said. And then I realized that one thing, because before the pandemic, I was taking everything and I was always working, so I wasn't thinking about it. But then when this pandemic hit, gratefully, I learned going forward, always have a job that's considered essential. Because I
Right.
would have been struggling like everybody else. So I thank God for that. But also what I realized is that I'm not as financially stable as I thought I was. And I'm not as like just good. Because like you said, it's always, can you help me? Can you do this? Can you go here? We need an art firm. We need this. We need this. We need that. And had I not been essential, it would have been a rough beginning patch of this pandemic. So it's just like this is the time, like it's slowed down. You couldn't hang out with people as much. You couldn't go to certain places. So just had to make sure, that I'm focusing on me. So just a few more questions. Let me just look at them real quick. I'm bootleg. I got the notes. Okay. So let's talk about your record label.
Yes.
How did you come up with the name?
I'm always dreaming. I'm a big dreamer. I have a big imagination and, very just constantly dreaming of stuff or fantasizing things or coming up with some type of idea. So I just wanted to name it Dreamland Records so that people would have a place where they could come and dream and just, be open, just be open artistically and, just have a place to just be themselves in Christ and not be judged.
Wow.
For the style of music they do, or whether they want to, write plays, or whether they want to try to create films, or whatever the case may be. And so I just wanted to just create a place for people to come and just authentically be themselves without any judgment.
And do you already have any artists signed?
I am currently in the middle of working on it. I am trying to seal the deal right now. This is a whole new venture for me. This is a whole new area for me. So I'm learning as I go, and I'm learning new things as I'm doing it. But I'm in the middle of trying to secure that right now, so we can get this ball rolling for 2021. So I have something under my belt. But I know that I'm also an artist on my own label as well too. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And as a record label owner now, because you got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
When an artist comes to you and says, hey, I can sing or I can play, what is it that you look for in an artist? Because many people can sing, many people can play and are talented. But when somebody comes to you, what is it that you're looking for in an artist? For that artist that might be looking at you saying, I might want to go on this record label.
I'm really just looking for authenticity. I think as an artist, you need to be as authentic as possible. You know, you have to really live what you speak about. Your life has to align with whatever message you're trying to portray to people, because that's very important.
Mhm.
And I just think the big thing for me is authenticity. Awesome authenticity, like authenticness, I think is the major thing for me as far as artists.
Okay. And so it's any genre, is it specific? Like I know you in the church, so is it like a gospel record label, or is it like just
Well, my goal right now is I'm trying to start. You know, I know a lot more gospel artists than I know any other artist. So right now I'm starting off with gospel, and my goal is to, you know, branch off and try to do, you know, something for R&B, something for hip hop. That's not till later on down the line though. But my main focus right now is gospel, because that's the genre that I'm in. So I'm trying to build that right now first.
okay? And I know we talked earlier about focusing on others, but since it's your record label, are we getting any music? I know the book is coming out, the record label's getting ready. Are we going to get a single with the book, or is there any music coming out? What?
The music is coming out in 2021. I'm hoping to have it out by the summertime of 2021, because I want to perfect the record. I'm very big on it. I'm not trying to rush anything. I notice with a lot of artists, they rush stuff, put stuff out. They try to sound like everybody else. I'm not that dude. And so I'm trying to create something that's different sonically, and something that just God has given me. So I'm hoping the summer 2021. The book is a separate venture from the album. I don't want to put them together. So those are two separate things.
Okay. And who are some of your musical influences since you?
Wow. Twinkie Clark,
Okay,
definitely.
great
I
choice.
feel like she's the greatest ever. Donald Lawrence, Richard Smallwood. I love Babyface. I love Prince. I just love people. I love singers who are writers.
Okay.
So I'm very big on writing too. I write a lot of my own music. So I love people who write their own music and who arrange and who can also sing. But honestly, biggest vocal inspiration and biggest songwriting inspiration would have to be Twinkie Clark if I had to pick somebody, hands down. I think she's awesome.
Okay. Um, Favorite place to perform?
Church. It's my comfort zone.
Favorite song to perform?
Oh wow. One that I perform a lot is The Blood.
Okay.
That's my favorite hymn, favorite song. I sing that a lot whenever I have to do some type of sermonic solo or any solo in general. That'd be the first choice.
Okay. And good. I'm about to say. So we get ready to close out because I pretty much asked all my questions. Like I said, I told
Okay.
you I'm still new at this interview and stuff, but it's gonna be on and pop, and we're definitely gonna have you back on. But before we go, anytime I get an artist on the show,
Right.
I have to play this game
Mm-hmm.
called Song Association. So that's
Ah,
5 words. You're a singer. People don't really know that much about you. I have a lot of followers that watch this. You got a record label, book coming out, record company, all this other stuff. So I'm going to give you 5 words.
okay.
You sing a song that comes to mind. We want to hear these beautiful vocals, okay?
Okay.
All right. So the first word is love.
Love. Love. So many things I have to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how. And I feel that if you look at me, I mess up the words, something but love. That's all I know. That's all I know. I mess up the words so bad I butchered that song.
Okay. The next word is you.
You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other reaches to me.
You're giving us these 5 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, that's all he gonna get is 5 seconds.
The next word is here.
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 Um, you are here turning lives around. We worship you. we worship you. Okay, that's had here, but here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Okay.
All right, we got 2 more words for you.
Okay.
The next word is called praise.
Praise is what I do. It's what I do. Okay, that's all I got for that one.
Oh my Lord. And the last word for this interview is weak.
Weak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, strength when I'm weak. Oh my God, weak. The only week I can think of is SWV week, but that's not gospel, so I don't want to.
That's okay. That's my favorite singer, so you already know. Send me some
I
Coco.
get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I lose all control. Something comes over me, and I don't know the rest of the words, but I forgot them because I'm terrible at this game.
Well, you did it. You sang something for each word, and you
Okay.
really got my heart now because you know some SW. You know Coco's my favorite singer and the favorite female vocalist in the world. High octave soprano, love her dearly. All right.
Yes.
So I just wanted to thank you for coming on to the Maine-Chat show and sharing your information. Once again, before we go, just give us the name of your record label company, the
Okay.
name of your book, and the date it's coming out, and where we can go, to pre-order.
Okay, so the name of the record label is Dreamland Productions. The book is Christian Talk, 10 Steps to a Better You. You can go to my page. The link is on my page, my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Darius Douglas, and you can find it there.
Okay, and are you on any other places? Can we find you on Instagram or
I'm on
Twitter?
Instagram. That's Forever Darius, and that's it. I'm not on anything else. I don't really do a lot of social media like that.
Uh-oh, Mr. Celebrity about to be celebrity. You're gonna have to get it, or at least get you like like somebody who can manage the pages for you.
Yeah, when I get to that level, I don't think I'm at that level where I can do that yet, but I will when I get there.
Okay. Well, thank you, Darius, for coming on the show. Appreciate you. And whenever you have anything going on, please stop by. We'll definitely and chat with us.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
All righty.
Well, that concludes another episode of the Maine-Chat show. Thank you all for tuning in to watch this. Just remember that we are in November and we are doing our Thanksgiving drive. Let me take these glasses off. We're doing our Thanksgiving drive at the moment up until November 20th, and we'll be giving out baskets on November 23rd. So check out the Maine-Chat show on Facebook, the Maine-Chat show on Instagram. You can email me at themaine-chat@gmail.com. Of course, on YouTube at the Maine-Chat show. All the information is on the flyer. There's an address for drop off. If you're gonna drop off some food, please make sure that you call the number first so there can be a time set up for the food to be dropped off. If you're giving money, definitely on PayPal, I believe, the Maine-Chat show, and I believe there's another form of payment as well. Cash App at the Maine-Chat show. So thank you all for tuning in. Until the next time we meet again, till we meet again. Ooh. Yeah. Thank you. Peace and God bless.
Since he came, there's been a change. I no longer am